what not to give this Christmas and how you can give a gift that keeps on giving. So for your latest consumer advice, hi, Will Perry. Welcome to another Keeping the Conversation Alive. I'll get rid of that. How are you doing? I hope you're keeping well. So a gift that keeps giving. That sounds good. That sounds like the hot ticket to give this winter, this Christmas. So I've seen huge amounts, and maybe you're guilty of this, or maybe you've seen this, or maybe you received this in the past. Huge amounts given, like crazy amounts given to kids at Christmas time. Personally speaking, in two of my three marriages, my wives have like gone, not so much with one, but it was the mother of one, but huge, like just crazy amounts of presents and to the kids, and the kids kind of, you know what kids are like, little animals that and if they've got so many mountains of presents, it's almost like the excitement is getting through them. And I've seen presents passed that were, wonderfully thought out gifts and expensive gifts that have just been cascaded to the side to get to the next one, to get to the next one, to get to this, is that it moment when they are surrounded by rubbish and, the rippings, and then all these half open presents, and often go throughout the whole year without playing with them. And to me, that's terribly sad, and that comes from different perspectives as well. Terribly sad because that isn't the true value of Christmas, I don't think, or the true value of giving. Also, from the perspective of in the past being on a real tight budget and not having the money to do what I'd want to the kids, having to be really selective. And I can remember once, and the boys did tease me about it, like, I got them some Maltesers and wrapped them, some really cheap presents, because I wanted them to have a little few more things to open, because it was only one thing each that they had that was a nice present. And then it was like I was really struggling for money, so I wrapped little things as a bit of a humour, but actually I kind of backfired on them at the time. They remembered it in not a necessarily pleasant way, but means and all that. So when you haven't got the money to be able to give the gifts that you'd want, maybe that's a time to reflect, because if you do and you shower them, or you shower them with presents anyway, even if you can't afford it, or you spread the load over a year, or whatever, or on credit cards or anything like that. Oh yeah, there was a stat on that. I was going to do a different video on it, but here it is, BNPL, which I thought, what's BNPL? Buy now, pay later schemes. 17 million people in the UK alone have invested in buy now, pay later companies. I think that's in the last year. I mean, that's just crazy. So if you haven't got the money for Christmas, put it on the credit card, get credit, buy now, pay later, all those schemes. And they're very similar to credit cards often. If you don't keep up and maintain payments, you get slaughtered on the interest. So it's obviously not a wise thing to do. But the message really is that when I've seen these huge mountains, the focus shifts in the kids, and it's not the kids' fault. You think, oh, they're so ungrateful. They're so ungrateful. Is it the kids' fault? No. You're teaching them that stuff. You're teaching them to do that. So there's a balance to be found. And like I'm saying, I've been under the balance before, but I've seen this excess of presents. And if you like to do that, reflect why. I invite you to reflect, because in both of those cases with my ex-wives, I know the hole that it's tried to fill unsuccessful. Both of those people I know were in their childhood kind of unhappy and would have given anything to have a better relationship, with their fathers in both cases. That would have had given all the tea in China to have a strong bond, a closer relationship. That was the missing thing, and it was kind of covered up with gifts and showered gifts, and you get this strange thing about this offness, this disconnection. This I'm struggling for words, but this disconnection. Unconnectedness between the families at Christmas time. They'd love the giving, they'd love but then when the kids don't react how you want them to, they're ungrateful kids. It's like, wow, yeah, it is, but you're teaching them to be ungrateful. Look at the boxes and bags and bags and bags and bags of stuff, of presents to open on Christmas Day. To me, it's shocking. Maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned. And you join in and tell me it's a lovely thing to be showered in so many gifts and then not value them. What do you want to teach your kids? The value of gifts, of presents, of money, of what is it? Because by giving them, just setting an expectation and devaluing the monetary cost of things. So, are you guilty of giving presents instead of presents? Are you guilty of giving presents instead of presents? Being present for your kids is something I chose to do a long time ago. Whereas when I first separated from my first marriage, I could have gone off, worked 5 days a week, been the weekend dad, McDonald's dad, and I did not, and I would not be that, and I'm that to this day. That I see my girls, 3 nights a week, or 2, depending, but absolutely consistently, because the presence is more important than the presence. So, and I absolutely know that, and it's a difficult route sometimes, but yeah, I see it so many times in people that separate as well. That the dad, for example, can classically, because maybe he's got more money, can just buy the gift, and the kids, short term, love it. Daddy bought me this. Daddy bought me this. Daddy bought me this. Daddy bought me this. Daddy, look at what they're going. And where are the gifts the next week? Daddy, can we go in there? Daddy, going to get me something? And they're disappointed, and that's like the connection is going to the shop. I can remember my granddad coming down. He was from the Midlands. We were in Cornwall. So my mum's dad would come down. He'd see who once he said, "I'm going to spend a penny," and I said, "Oh, can I come?" And I was a wee toddler, a little one at the time. And he went, "Oh, yes, if you want to." And he went to the toilet. I said, "What are you doing?" Boppy, we called him. I said, "What are you doing, Boppy?" "I thought you were going to the shops." And he said, "Oh, no, I'm going to spend a penny in the toilet." It was a phrase I hadn't heard before, and it was like, oh. Because when he come down, the first thing he'd do with us, once he'd given out all the meats and offcuts to my parents, because he was a butcher, what he'd do is he'd take us 2 kids, me and my sister Hannah, down to the local corner shop, and we'd come back with a box full of anything we wanted. Ooh. Because that was an awesome thing, So as soon as Bobby would come down, it's like, "Can we go to the shop? Can we go to the shop?" That was the thing, and there wasn't much connection. In fact, I remember my mum saying, "Maybe don't kiss your father when Boppy's around." For her values were challenged in what was right or wrong, and changed and different when her father was around. And she asked me not to kiss my father, and I was like, "Oh, right, What I understood from that was it's wrong to kiss your father." And so I evaluated that in my childhood way. And I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't kiss my father." Because Boppy's a real man, and that's not what real men do. And it's a funny thing, the way the child's mind works and what it does to you, and you don't realise because it goes into your subconscious as an adult, and guides your life and has an impact. Not that it messes you up, but all these things have an impact. And I remember, the connection wasn't there. It was kind of formal, and I was young, But it's an odd thing, isn't it? Don't kiss your father in front of your grandfather. So, what's that teaching? What's that saying? It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Not. But I've seen these patterns, and we repeat these patterns. I've seen these patterns in people where they either gleefully shower their kids in so many presents because they didn't have many as a kid, or because they didn't have that connection. They think they've got that connection and they show it. But is that really teaching your kids? Evaluate it for yourself. What have you noticed in other people? What do you see in yourself? About the difference between giving presents and being present. I saw it today. I don't know why I'm pointing over there, but somebody I know, a friend, commented on that their mum gave them wings, which I thought was a lovely thing. It was Katie. It was you. My mum. Oh, it moves me. My mum gave me wings. Or are we giving winged unicorns? The distinction between that, I think, is awesome. You want to give your kids wings to fly out into, not to be held into the nest, not to, that's another distinction. So, maybe buy less, maybe buy way less, and it's probably way too late this Christmas, but maybe evaluate it. Look at it in a different way this Christmas about what your kids are doing. What are they seeing? What are they learning from that? Because they learn by seeing, by doing, don't they? Through you, and you don't sit down and teach them self-esteem or teach them values. They learn that stuff from growing up around you. So teaching them and investing in them in a different way, and that often starts with you, does it not? You're the parent. It starts with you. So if you have to evaluate, readjust, be different from your parents, do different things, but not do the opposite, because that's my shitty stick analogy. So people often have this very quickly. How much time have I got? 10 minutes already. So people often have the shitty end of the stick, and they've had that, and they don't. They've held the shitty end of the stick, and they don't like that, and it's not good. I want to be different with my kids when I'm a parent, so they do the opposite. But guess what? What are you still holding? Oh yeah, I'm still holding a shitty stick. Why is that? Let go. Do something different. It's not the opposite. Isn't the same? The opposite isn't different. It's the same, but reversed. There's a distinction there as well, but I haven't got time for that one. So my invitation to you is to kind of really assess that. Really look at what you do as an individual. I'm not criticizing or judging. It's just an observation through many people, through myself, through my own observations, through observations of others. Learn how growing you in here could save a fortune over the years in terms of presence. That's a big thing, but it could absolutely give greater returns for the kids, and they are our greatest investment, are they not? They're the future of the world. You love them. You love them, you absolutely love them to death. So, and it will be your death. So hopefully yours before them, I don't know, that isn't always the case, and it's tragic if it is that way, but I guess you show your strength the other way around. So show your strength in different ways, invest in you. And if you want to know what that could be, or what that could look like, if you resonate with me, if you don't resonate, it certainly wouldn't be with me. You'd be like, off Will, he's a so-and-so and a this and a that, and of course you're welcome to all your opinions. But if there's a resonancy, if this resonates with you, then let's talk. You can check out my link below, but let's have a conversation. Well, that could be, keep that conversation alive, because that's an important one to have, in my view, in terms of this development. And the test is there on my page. It'll help you distinguish whether this kind of sensitivity to negativity about yourself, negative emotions about yourself, is there for you. Because if it is, it's really difficult to shake out. You can't just shake it. You can't just shake it out. It's difficult to let go of. It's really difficult to see, and it's really difficult to understand. It's really tricky stuff, and I've dedicated a lot of time to it, and developed my program over the years to be able to help people through that. And it's a really difficult journey, but it can be done, and it's so important, especially because we're passing it on to the kids, regardless of whether we do it right or wrong. We're still passing it on to the kids. And many thanks. I hope you're well. Speak to you soon, and do share this with somebody who you think could benefit. All right, many thanks. Bye-bye.